What's going on, guys? Vegas here, and today I just got finished watching the Steelers beat the Titans 20-16, and I was looking forward to this game mainly because I wanted to see how Will Levis would do after he had a really good game last week against the Falcons, and I didn't expect him to go off mainly because it was his first away game as a starter against, of all places, the Steelers. And it was more about me just seeing if Will wouldn't just collapse after just 2 games. And he looked alright to me. He has potential, and the thing I like about Will is that he gives this Titans offense a spark that you wouldn't think that this Titans team ever had with Ryan Tannehill. So I really hope they keep playing Will Levis. And again, he's a rookie, so I expect him to just progressively get better in terms of him reading the field. But I liked what I saw, and today we're just going to react to Colin's kind of quick take about this game. Because again, I think the Steelers, credit to them for getting the win, but the Steelers team is just, I don't know, their stats when it comes to being in these close games and then somehow getting this win. I think I looked at a stat on Twitter, and they said I forgot what tweet it was, but basically the Steelers have been outgained in all of their games so far, and the Steelers offense is just can't even look at it, but somehow they're getting these wins. And yeah, let's look at this video just to get Colin's take on it.
Kenny Pickett has significantly better wide receiving talent.
Well, let's start from the beginning with that. All right.
There's a saying in football that winning is not a quarterback stat, and tonight's a great example. Kenny Pickett has significantly better wide receiving talent, a significantly better roster, at home, much more support, better defensive front to pressure Will Levis. And Will Levis, for most of the night, outplayed him with a very sparse, very mediocre receiving tight end core on the road, this franchise in a rebuild with multiple offensive line injuries.
This is true. I think the Titans are just trying to rebuild and they're trying to see where they're at in terms of their franchise, and especially their offensive line. And I think the fact that the Steelers were still trying to compete or even close in this game is still scary.
Now, it's important to note, because I know we have a history of, Brady going in the 6th round and Dak Prescott going in the 3rd or 4th round and Russell Wilson in the 3rd round. Remember, Will Levis was a 1st round. He was a lottery talent in terms of arm talent. He has a huge arm. Mom went to Yale, was a 4-point college student. He just turned people off in the interview process. A lot of the gusho stuff. Too cocky. So he was a 1st round talent that dropped to the top of the 2nd. Kenny Pickett, I
don't even know if that's true. This is the first time I'm hearing about this. I understand that Will he was supposed to be a 1st rounder, but people didn't pick him up until now he was a 2nd rounder. I never looked into why, but I guess because of his personality. But I guess if that's a reason.
2 general managers told me, and a couple of the best guys in the league, Kenny Pickett was a top of the 3rd to middle 3rd talent. He was a Pittsburgh kid, and the Steelers needed a quarterback now, and it was a bad quarterback class. And so you can see when they play, Levis has a significantly better arm, a special arm. He's bigger, stronger, thicker, plays with more confidence, easier thrower. Kenny Pickett doesn't have a lot of special, but he's got Pickens, Deontay Johnson, a couple of really good backs. I think a healthier offensive line. He's at home. Winning is not a quarterback stat.
I think Steelers need to get rid of Matt Canada. I just had to say it. I'm tired of people looking at. I mean, Kenny is. I guess he's all right. You wouldn't put him at the upper tier QBs, but I don't know. Steeler fans, I look at Steeler comments on Twitter, and they just do not like Matt Canada. So I think they really want him gone. They would rather get rid of him before they get rid of Kenny. So yeah, get rid of Matt Canada.
Right now, obviously, the great quarterbacks win more than mediocre quarterbacks, or certainly bad quarterbacks. but you can see special with Will Levis. Kenny Pickett has played, I think, 21 games as a pro, and I think he's had one game with multiple touchdown passes. That is hard to do with this receiving core. Will Levis has played 2 games and has won multiple touchdown game. This was a big ask for him. Even on the final drive, that was a big ask. Under pressure, not a lot to work with. He drove him down the field. Will Levis is really, really good. And this is what I mean about Kenny Pickett. Folks, it just doesn't.
You saw potential, and that's the whole thing that, like, is very, like, you knew that, like, this was a perfect setup for Will Levis to just be terrible. And the fact that he didn't embarrass himself is really good.
Doesn't take long. I use the analogy all the time. I listen to music. I don't know anything about it. But if you watch The Voice or you watch American Idol, you can tell in 15 seconds who has talent. It doesn't take long. And none of us are music executives. I looked it up today. Burrow, Trevor Lawrence, Lamar Jackson, Herbert, Dak, Mahomes, Russell Wilson, you saw brilliance first year. Jared Goff and Tua, you saw brilliance when they finally got an offensive coach, McVay or Mike McDaniel.
Here's one thing you need to do before buying.
Oh, there's an ad. Didn't mean there'd be ads. Yes, guys, I don't have premium, but it is what it is. There we go.
He's going to be an offensive coach soon. Now, people always point to Josh Allen wasn't very good in that initially, the Buffalo quarterback. But I looked at his rookie stats. Now, I remember him jumping over people. He was special his first year. He had 10 passing touchdowns and 18 total touchdowns. Yeah, he ran for 8, 630 yards of rushing, 7 yards a carry. There was all sorts of special from Josh Allen his first.
I guess. Yeah, Colin right now is just going in on, like, he doesn't see anything really special from Kenny Pickett. And I guess, yeah, I haven't seen anything from Kenny Pickett for me to be like, for me to say he's that wow factor. Like, we're not sure if Kenny Pickett's that it guy for the Steelers yet, but we already saw that Will Levis could be that it guy for the Titans. So that's kind of the thing right now, is like, Kenny's been playing this long as a starter, and then Will just got his first start, and then people are already like asking themselves, like, hey, maybe Will's the guy, but people are not even sure that Kenny's the guy yet. So I don't know if it's just Kenny as a QB, or is he just being held back by coaching like Matt Canada? But yeah, it's up in the air and trying to figure out what this team can do. But they're still winning, which I can look at Mike Tomlin for doing that. But yeah, they're struggling in these games where it's like we're not even sure what's going on with the Steelers offense.
First year. All sorts of special. If you don't see it as you get to Thanksgiving, second year, and that's the longest you should have to wait. Will Levis's first start, he had 4 touchdowns and no picks. 4 touchdowns, no picks with that Tennessee tight end wide receiver core and that O-line. So I think you already see Will Levis's talent. And again, he was a top 10 talent arm-wise, brain-wise. People just thought he was off-putting and cocky, the gun show at the combine. People just didn't like him. He interviewed very poorly. Remember, he was the guy that used to eat the banana peel on, put mayonnaise in his coffee.
People actually like, oh my goodness. They said Will Levis puts mayonnaise in his coffee and then bananas, and I guess people saw his like attitude and they were like, nah, this guy's too weird. Yeah, this guy's too weird. Is this all Colin's gonna talk about? NFL Week 9 picks. We're not gonna look at that.
And a couple of teams asked him about that during the interview process, and he, said, "Why are you bringing it up?" Reported he was kind of brusque in the interviews, blunt, and people didn't like it. Executives didn't like it, but he's first round top 10 arm talent. So it just doesn't take long. There's a rule to me that when you start complaining about play calling and wide receiver drops, you have you have a bottom tier quarterback.
Oh my goodness. He just say, okay, I guess Kenny is a bottom tier quarterback who just complains about the people around him. I mean, it is what it is. I think we've seen enough in this video. Colin's just going on a rant about Kenny Pickett being a bottom tier, and I'm not giving up on Kenny yet. I think they just need to switch up Matt Canada and get rid of him, and then if they get rid of him, give Kenny one more year with at least a verified decent offensive coordinator, like maybe Ben Johnson. But Ben Johnson's probably going to try to go for a head coaching job next year. But yeah, I wouldn't give up on Kenny Pickett yet. I would like to see some more dynamic play calling for the Steelers. But in terms of Will Levis, I like him. I think he has potential, and that's all I really want to see from these rookie quarterbacks right now. And so far, all these rookie quarterbacks for this draft class are showing real good potential. They're playing really well. The teams have them as like solid starters right now. And even Bryce Young, who's been struggling with his with the Panthers right now, I think the Panthers are still in kind of like a rebuild in terms of trying to get the offensive line working over there. But so far, I like all the QBs for this recent draft class, and I think Will Levis has potential for this Titans team. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I'll catch y'all later.